What up, world? It's your boy Mo Better. Mo Better Publishment Productions LLC, the media group Let Me Make You Famous, Connection Without Deserve a Deal, and Collective Minds LLC. Today we're gonna talk about this post uh, on Facebook, and this is part of my show. I'm doing the bringing the show back, and it's in real life with Mo Better, and I'll talk about real life situations with the connection with the companies that I name, but still the real life situations consist of everything that goes on in life, period. Not just in the companies that I'm talking about, with each of us. So like there was a post on Facebook to where a question was asked. If you can get rid of one negative attribute in the world, what would it be? If you can get rid of any, what would it be? I ask you that same question right now. For me, it would be greed. Why do I say greed? Because from greed, every other negative attribute is born and or manifests. Greed, also known as avarice, cupidity, or covetousness, is the inordinate desire to possess wealth, goods, or objects of abstract value with the intention to keep it for oneself, far beyond the dictates of basic survival and comfort. It's applied to a marketable high desire for and pursuit of wealth, status, and power. Remember that. Now let's look at the word inordinate, because we all have the desire or the yearning for and to want more. In this fashion, however, an inordinate desire in this faction is the inability to control the reformation of wants. And once this inordinate desire services just what one needs or even more than what one needs is eliminated for the purpose of gaining or having it all, whatever it is, all even at the expense of others. Deeper. It is stated that the level of inordinate of greed at times depends upon the amount of vanity, malice, or the burden of associated with it. This means that depending on how they feel about you, you can have some or maybe none at all. So the purpose of greed until control with any of its other attributes is more than likely to deprive others of the same potential means that you have, and is therefore a demonically inspired form of tyranny, and in most cases, having a negative intent. Now, most of us have the ability to want and desire more, do we not? You know where I'm going, right? Doesn't the book say that we are supposed to enjoy the fruits of our labor? This means that we do not have to become easily complacent, but that we should have and know our limits. Where does the inordinance come from? When we were manufactured, did not the Most High say, "Look at all that He had made," and said, "It is very good"? With His divine and infinite wisdom, He made our parents perfect, having the desire to not be easily complacent, but know our limits. What happened? Tyranny happened. Let's look at Genesis chapter 3. As a ventriloquist uses a dummy, if we want to go, with a biblical situation. It said, it is depicted that a powerful angel used a serpent or snake to manipulate the woman before she became pregnant to defy God in order to grasp what trait? Inordinate greed. Didn't she have all that she needed? A perfect man, even a perfect woman. She messed that up. And subjection to everything on the planet under her man's guidance. What more could she have needed? Why did he do this to her before she became pregnant? So that she could now pass down the now genetically and psychologically trait of inordinate greed. You see, we don't just pass down physical characteristics, eyes, ears, nose, lips, mouth, things of that nature. We also pass down psychological traits as well. Do you know of anyone that has a child that has never seen their biological parents and or at least one of them, but the child acts just like them or that one? Case in point. Now, why did the angel do this? Let's look at Ezekiel chapter 28. Do you know what Now, why did the angel do this? Let's look at Ezekiel. It says, we're going to start at 28. We're going to start at verse 12. It says, the Son of Man, sing a dirge concerning the king of Tyre, and tell him this is what the sovereign Lord Jehovah says. You were the model of perfection, full of wisdom, and perfect in beauty. You were in Eden, the garden of God. You were adorned with every precious stone, ruby, topaz, and jasper, chrysolite, onyx, and jade, sapphire, turquoise, and emerald, and their settings and mountings were made in gold. They were prepared on the day you were created. I assigned you as the anointed covering cherub. You were on the holy mountain of God, and you walked among fiery stones. You were faultless in your ways from the days you were created until unrighteousness was found in you. Because of your abundant trade, you became filled with violence, and you began to sin. So I cast you out as for profane from the mountain of God, and destroy you, O covering cherub, away from the stones of fire, away from the stones of fire. Your heart became haughty because of your beauty. You corrupted your wisdom because of your own glorious splendor, and will throw you down to the earth, and will make you a spectacle before kings. Because of your great guilt in your dishonest trading, you have profaned your sanctuaries. I will cause a fire to break out in your midst, and it will consume you. I will reduce you to ashes on the earth before all those looking at you. Now, do you know that there are prophecies in the Bible that are two and threefold and morefold according to time, but are still specific? When all situations are specific, it separates each incident from the next. These are things we really need to study in order to understand. This scripture starts off talking about the king of Tyre. Tyre was a real place that had a real king, but what human being has ever been perfect and in the Garden of Eden aside from Adam? Are you catching the twofold prophecy here? Listen to this makeup. He was an anointed cherub, an angel that became haughty or conceited because of what he was made of and how powerful he was. He became inordinately greedy. Cherub means that he was something like a general, which means that he was in control of possibly millions of other angels. And as even before Eve, what more could he have wanted? Just like her, what more could he have wanted? His wants and desires became uncontrollable because he allowed what he had not to be enough. This is different than not allowing oneself to become easily complacent. This is greed. He wanted more than what was given him so he could be God. And Eve did it so that she could rule herself and be independent, as many of you still do today. And us as men, in many cases as well, still follow our Eves, sometimes even to destruction. Because they did this before they had offspring, after the ability to not be able to control many of their attributes, along with the ability to pass down the trait of being able to be what? Inordinately greedy. We slightly touched on what it does, but we do know what it is and where it comes from. Now let's speak on some of the terrible effects of it, aside from where we as mankind already are today because of it. When I was a boy, which wasn't long ago, those of you that know me don't speak on that, I remember there only being about 3 kinds of cancer. Now there are almost 40 different kinds due to the continuous manufacturing of man-made substances that the greedy know will cause it to occur even at the expense of others' lives to obtain more money, or fiat. Please look up fiat. Money has been defined variously as any money declared by a government to be legal tender, state issued money which is neither convertible by law to any other thing, nor fixed in value in terms of any objective standard. Intrinsically valueless money used as money because of government decree. And this is what we allow them to kill us about. It accidentally takes 2 cents to make $1,000 bill that we kill each other for and drive ourselves into insanity about. Let's think about asbestos. coal mining, part of the substance that make the grease for our microwave popcorn that we eat and ingest. To fill our pockets, you will create or continue to manufacture a product that you know is taking the lives of others, mothers and fathers, from their children, husbands or wives, from their spouses. I love America. If I was anywhere else, I would have been dead a long time ago, or possibly the president of the country that I was in. I say that to say this. If you think the company or owner thereof is bad for producing a product that it knows can create sickness that can even cause death, taking the lives of others, what about the government that allows it as long as they get theirs, or that even has the cure for death? Even after death causing sickness, but uses this as one of the forms of population control and allow the masses to perish as they only treat the illness because the illness brings in more money or fiat, that valueless stuff, as being treated more so than it would as being a cure and saving the lives of those perishing. Is that greed? Is that inordinate greed? An uncontrollable desire for more even at the expense of others, including depriving them of their lives. Doesn't that define greed? On the parts of these big industries and our government, well, what separates you and what you are greedy for that deprives or is depriving another of, or others, of their potential to be where they desire to be in life or to obtain what they need to merely be okay? Does it stop from being greed because what you took all from another doesn't kill them? Do you hold something in your heart towards someone or others that allows you to deprive them of something that you don't even need, but just because you can? Let's look at two verses as we end this. We're going to look at 1 John 4:1. It says, "Beloved, do not believe every inspired expression or spirit, but test that expression or spirit to see if it originates with God." Since we know that this is God's word, do we understand that God is not the only one who inspires things? That's what he's saying here. Even powerful things. Look at James 1, and we're going to look at 13 and 14. One of the tried says, "Let no one say that I'm being tried by God. For with evil things God cannot be tried, nor does he try anyone. But each one is being tried and drawn out by his own desires." Who got to Eve before she had children and enticed her to want to live by her own rules? Please understand that there is nothing wrong with pride. The issue is being prideful. There is nothing wrong with having an ego. The problem comes and the issues arise with egotism. So even and still today, who is enticing you, me, us, them, to have an inordinate greed that deprives others of what they only need or of the potential to be where they can or could be in life? Are you greedy for anything? I want you to understand that in collective minds, if we talk about those things and people that are doing the things that they are to us out of greed, that's what it really is. Can you not just but can you overstand that if we stuck together, if again, there's nothing wrong with pride. The thing is being prideful. There's nothing wrong with having an ego. The thing and the issue is becoming egotistic or egotistical. Can we imagine putting those things away, putting those things to the side, and not becoming like those who are oppressing and suppressing us? Can you imagine what we can accomplish together if everybody played their part? How they supposed to play their part? So guess what? Again, I'll substantiate that I created this company, but there are people who can do things better than me. And guess what? I got a guy that does credit. Chuck Sherman does credit. I don't know how to do that. I asked a guy, Saiful Rankin. He does CCW classes. We have Dawn, who does accounting. We have Miss Yvette, who does etiquette classes. We have people that do real estate. We have people that actually are professionals in each of their fields. Correll McDonald, uh, Angel Cannon, Dale Cannon. We can keep going. And the thing is, guess what happens when everybody plays their position? Collectively, there is nothing that we will not be able to accomplish. Thank you.